What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. The Pittsburgh Steelers just finished their Week 3 matchup with the Houston Texans, and it was too close for comfort once again. It was another barn burner matchup that went back and forth, gave me a heart attack. But all in all, again, if you're here for the score, Pittsburgh came out with the win and got themselves to 3-0 with a 28-21 win against Houston. Now, those of you guys that look at records, you go, well, Pittsburgh was 2-0, Houston was 0-2, should be an easy game. Not like that. No, Houston is a pretty underrated team on both sides of the ball. They have a lot of potential. Been a wild card team for the last several years. Can't get over the hump, but I mean, they've had a really rough schedule. I mean, going from Kansas City to Baltimore to Pittsburgh, you're playing, in effect, the three best AFC teams, in my opinion. I think KC, Baltimore, and Pittsburgh are 1, 2, and 3 in the AFC. So tough road for them to start 0-3. But they played a pretty tough game here and gave our defense some fits that nobody else has this season. Much like Denver, it was not a linear win. It was up and down. It was too close for comfort. It gave me 5,000 heart attacks. But at the end of the day, what matters is the win. Pittsburgh gets out with the win. Both sides of the ball showed us a lot of ups and downs today. Offensively, we had some really good drives, some really nice moments. We got James Conner involved in both the running game and the passing game. The offensive line had some really nice moments in blocking today, pulling guards, getting out, getting in front of the run, using our guards and our fullback and our tight ends a little more in blocking today to look good for Conner and at times even for McFarland, who played today. Receiving the ball, had some nice moments, some good catches, some good hands plays, but also several drops. So that was a little bit inconsistent. And some of the play calling is still really rough on offense. Every time Ben gets into that short passing rhythm and opens up downfield, it works well. But today, we took a lot of shots downfield that had really good coverage. We didn't have any separation downfield. I think Ben took 4 downfield targets. I think 1 to Washington and 3 to Claypool. So I think that those were the 4 targets. And nobody was even close to open downfield. So good defense by the Texans, but not really good reads by the Steelers. So some drives, again, got going nicely and looked like we were going to kind of cruise to a win early, and then we just stalled out a lot. We did have 2 sacks against Ben today, and some of these I cannot stand. These shotgun inside handoffs. They run this play so often, and it's always after like a big sack. So we get sacked or we get a big play for a loss. So the Steelers are at 2nd and 16 or 2nd and 20 or 2nd and 23. Something like that after a sack or a penalty. And we always run this second down little shotgun draw with no fullback, no pulling guards. We get tackled after maybe a 2-yard gain. So we're going into 3rd and 18 or 3rd and 16. And the drive's over. There's no chance. One bad play and then you go into this stupid shotgun handoff. They have to mix it up. Derek Watt did get hurt in this game, so he did not play in a lot of the second half. But when you have a tight end who can block like McDonald, and you have a fullback you brought in to be a blocker like Derek Watt, why would you not use more of an I formation, more of the split formation? Why would you keep lining up in shotgun with no fullback? It makes no sense. Stop calling these plays on 1st and long, 2nd and long, and making Ben have these 3rd and 16, 3rd and 20s. They're not going to work. It doesn't make any sense. Fix the play calling. Penalties were a lot cleaner today. I didn't notice really any on the offensive end of the ball. Very nice, really on both sides of the ball. Penalties were very clean today, so we picked that up well. Now the play calling has to get fixed so we can be more consistent on offense and not stalling out on certain drives. Defensively, same thing. We had some really nice drives, good moments. We had some of the linebackers looking good in moments today. Some plays where Vince Williams and Devin Bush were playing nicely in pass defense, which is a rare thing to see. Some moments where Mike Hilton played very nicely in pass defense, Cam Sutton as well. And then other moments where we just got burnt and got beat. Deshaun Watson extending the play, had a pretty solid game today. Several guys got downfield. The middle of the field and the corners at times were open. Randall Cobb had a big 3rd down conversion. We couldn't get off the field on 3rd down. They converted a majority of their 3rd downs for most of the game, which saw their 4 wide receivers kind of have nice moments. Steven Nelson got beat on a touchdown by Will Fuller. I think Randall Cobb got the other one. I think he beat, I think it was Mike Hilton. Mike Hilton got beat pretty bad on some footwork, which caused a touchdown against us. And Vince Williams a couple times was in coverage against either Kenny Stills or maybe it was Brandon Cooks. You don't want to see that. I love our middle linebackers. They're ferocious. They had nice moments today, even in coverage. But you don't want to see Devin Bush and Vince Williams in coverage against any wide receiver. They're going to lose that battle 95% of the time. So they got us mixed up in coverage. They got a lot of nice third down conversions. The receivers found some soft spots in our zone today. They picked apart the middle of the field. And again, Hilton got beat a few times. Kind of a weak start to this season for Steven Nelson. He was a breakout guy last year, played great. Did not play quite as good so far this season, but still has his moments as well. So this was by far the weakest output for the defense, giving up 21 first half points, but no points in the second half. The defense clamped down. They got themselves in second and third and longs with sacks, better pressure on the quarterback. The Texans' offensive line was blocking us out a lot. Watson had too much time. He was moving around. We weren't getting enough pressure. So the combination of not enough pressure off the D-line and not enough coverage from the secondary caused a lot of third down conversions, middle of the field pass plays. But second half, we got more pressure on Watson. We played tighter in the middle of the field coverage-wise, and the Texans scored no points in the second half. Pittsburgh comes back to get the win, being down most of the game, and gets, I think, one of their first leads. They had a lead in the first quarter and a lead in the fourth quarter, and I think that was it. But Pittsburgh comes back to win 28-21. Let's get to the numbers. Big Ben, 23 of 36, 237 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Pretty clean game. Ben did look a little bit out of sorts early in the game, like he has kind of been doing so far this season. Gets warmed up and gets going. He started to rely a lot on Eric Ebron as a third down target to get off the field. Looking for some short passes. Again, they weren't helped out by some bad play calling, and they weren't helped out by some drop passes today. That was an issue. I think Snell dropped one. James Washington dropped one. Connor dropped 1 or 2 big ones that he could have had. So a couple drops, not the cleanest start, but they did come on later in the game. Again, no interceptions for Ben is always nice. Ben was sacked twice, but it wasn't not too much pressure for the rest of the game. So pretty good job on the offensive line. I want to give them credit. David DeCastro was back today. Big props to him. It's good to see the All-Pro back. Also, Matt Filer, he did have the 1 sack allowed, which was a bad blocking play, but he had several plays in pulling, and the announcers called it out as well. He pulled several times, once for McFarland, and I think 2 or 3 times for James Conner as the pulling guard coming across the formation to open up James Conner for some nice runs today. We had some of our better runs today as an offense, and that is due to Matt Filer, due to DeCastro's return, due to the times they used Watt before he got hurt. I like him out there. And also, I want to give credit to Vance McDonald. We saw Vance McDonald and James Washington blocking downfield a lot, especially Vance. Vance was on the other half of that pull. Vance, not a big offensive threat these days, more of a short pass, kind of a hard runner. His legs have slowed down a little bit, but he's still strong. But his blocking today was very nice. And if they wind up using him as more of a short down guy, they put him in the backfield a few times when Watt was hurt. If you use him as kind of a hybrid fullback, kind of a short tight end that you use to block, and use Eric Ebron as your route runner, I think that's a very nice combination of 2 competent tight ends doing different things. So nice usage there of your tight ends. Best that I've seen the tight end play today. Really enjoyed that. James Conner, it's our 3rd consecutive week with a 100-yard back. Can you believe that? James Conner, 18 carries, 109 yards, and a touchdown, plus 4 catches for 40 yards as well. So, best game for James Conner. Week 1, Benny Snell with a 100-yard game looked really nice. Week 2, Conner had a 100-yard game last week, but it was mostly on 1 long run in the fourth quarter to cause that. So, not a great game, but a great carry. This week, Conner had a great game overall, 18 for 109. Had a nice touchdown. Also, again, 4 catches, 40 yards. Did drop a couple, including one on the 1-yard line, which could have extended our drive. So the hands weren't always consistent, but he was a nice release valve. He found the middle of the field, was able to get downfield and break some tackles like he did last year. He showed some patience on the pulling guard plays. Like I said, he looked much more like he did in the season when Le'Veon Bell sat out than he has looked in the last couple of years. So this was prime Conner. He looked healthy out there. He was following his blockers. He was sitting down in the middle of the field. I enjoyed his play today. The backfield was very divided today. It was very divided. Conner had the 22 touches today. Also, McFarland came out there and played a lot today. I think he had 6 touches. Wound up with 2 or 3 catches. Had one nice play on a reception. Had one nice first down run where he had a pulling guard play. So showing some speed, showing some burst. It was his first time really getting playtime in there. Played pretty well. Benny Snell, surprisingly, got some of the fewest looks out there. Surprised he didn't get more. I think he only had 5 or 6 carries today. Did not. I think he was even 1 touch behind McFarland, which is very strange because he was a 100-yard back in the first week, and he was looking to be our 1A, 1B running back with Connor. So to see him as the third back in this game was kind of weird. Also, Jalen Samuels played on passing downs. I think he had 1 carry and was out there on passing downs. So he had 4 or 5 snaps too. So all 4 of our running backs getting in there. Kind of weird to see that today. Receiving-wise, Eric Ebron gets the biggest game ball today. 5 catches, 52 yards. Got us off the field, or kept us on the field, I should say, in third downs with, I think, 2 or 3 third down catches, including a beautiful touchdown catch. Ben threw almost kind of a fade. It was a one-on-one tight coverage with the guys all over each other. Ebron getting up in separation, making a nice hands catch. You love seeing that. Eric Ebron's one knock on him was he's a heck of an athlete, but he doesn't always catch the ball. He caught the ball for the majority of today. Very nice. He was one of our leaders today. Juju had a touchdown on a crossing play where he was wide open for 20 yards. He just kind of caught the ball and literally walked 20 yards down the field for a touchdown. Kind of strange there. James Washington had a couple nice hands catches. Chase Claypool had a nice third down catch where he caught the ball in the fourth quarter and got past the first down to ice the game. Also had several deep field targets. Ben wants to go to Claypool deep. They like Chase Claypool down the field. Sadly, he didn't get open down the field today. Nice coverage by the Texans over the top. But Claypool got some nice targets, and he is a bigger part of this offense every single week. I like his toughness. I like him finishing off the catch, taking short passes, running through guys, finishing. I like that. Deontay Johnson did get hurt and leave this game. He had no targets on offense. Didn't see a single receiving target. Did have 1 end-around play where he took the ball on a rush for 8 yards, and he got hurt on that play. He got a concussion. So 1 touch. No targets on the receiving, 1 rush, and they got hurt. So him being our 1B with Juju, you don't want to see that. I hope he comes back healthy, but you do still have several competent guys out there. With Connor getting targets, Vance and Ebron catching passes, and then your 3 big receivers still being Young, Claypool, Juju, and Washington, we're still okay without Deontay, but you don't want to see an explosive young guy like Deontay out of the game. So I hope that he's okay. Hope it is a 1-week concussion protocol and we see him back next week. Hopefully he's healthy. Prayers go out to him. Defensively, again, tale of 2 games. Sacks. We had 5 sacks today once again. TJ Watt, 1.5. Bud Dupree, 1.5. Stephon Tuitt, 1. And Vince Williams, 1. Interceptions, the one and only turnover in this game goes to Mike Hilton. Hilton did get beat on that 1 touchdown. Since then, came back nicely. Got a few plays in the backfield. Got a few knockdowns. And read this Deshaun Watson scramble play. Deshaun did a scramble drill and tried to throw back. Almost kind of across his body. It was a throw downfield that was covered. Hilton jumped to play. Played nice there. Again, Vince Williams was over a lot of tackles today. Tyson Alualu got some tackles today and also a tip ball. I love what Tyson Alualu is doing. I cannot say it enough. Tyson Alualu has filled in so nicely for Hargrave as a D tackle. People weren't sure how he was going to move to the inside and play well. I love what he's doing out there right now. Cam Sutton playing pretty well. Again, Nelson has been hit or miss. And Hayden had a few chances for picks today. 1 went right through his hands. But so shaky day for the secondary in coverage. But overall, again, no second half points. Got 5 sacks, got a turnover. You got to like where this defense is headed. Even though it was a rough week, we got to 3-0. One final shout-out, special teams. I want to give Ray McLeod some props here because I forgot his name in one of the weeks. And so far in 3 games, he's had 4 nice returns. He had 1 in week 1, 1 in week 2, and 2 good returns in week 3. He had a nice return for like 25 yards in the first one. And then in the second, on a punt return, he absorbed 2 hits and reversed field and finished a nice run on a punt return. So 2 returns, 47 yards. That is 4 solid returns now in 3 games. He's such an upgrade over Ryan Switzer. He's tough, he's quick, and he makes good decisions. I like McLeod back there on special teams. So what impressed you guys? How are you feeling about the AFC? Do you guys agree that it's Kansas City, Baltimore, and Pittsburgh? Because I think we're a step above Tennessee and Buffalo in the AFC, and we're playing Tennessee next week. So it's going to be our toughest test yet, as they have also gotten to 3-0, I believe. I believe they got to 3-0 as well. So interesting game next week. AFC is pretty crowded with some good teams. What do you think? Who are you impressed by? What do you expect for next week? Tell me in the comments below, and I will see you guys next Sunday. Go Steelers. Take care.